Hey guys, Catherine here. I'm so excited to show you how I did this iridescent gem skull look. I wanted to visualize the vibes of the songs If Only by Raveena and Where You Are by Rina Sawayama, which I would describe as soft, dreamy, iridescent, delicate, and holographic. So stay tuned to see how I did this look. So I applied a generous amount of some pore minimizing primer to my T-zone, inner cheek area, and shin to reduce texture. Next, foundation. I used a medium to full coverage foundation to even out my skin tone with a damp sponge. I then prepped my eyes using NYX's high definition eyeshadow base all over the lid, under, nose bridge, and eyebrows, so I can really make the pigments pop and last longer. Next, brows. You can just brush and fill them in as you normally would. Now, depending on whether you want a horizontal or vertical half skull, conceal the spots according to your preference. Here I concealed my blemishes that aren't going to be covered by the skeleton teeth, and I'm highlighting a bit of my forehead under the eyes to appear a tad bit flawless. Moving on to the eyes, I slowly layered up this hot pink shade in my crease, going in windshield wiping motions with a fluffy blending brush. I use the same hot pink shade on where my brows meet my nose bridge. And depending on how dramatic or how furrowed you want your brows to be, extend that color higher towards your forehead. Continue blending until you're happy with the result. Now, use the same hot pink shade to generously contour your forehead and cheekbones with a smaller blending brush. Next, pick up a purple shadow and sweep that onto the jawline with a big fluffy brush. Take your time to blend that purple in with the hot pink where the cheekbones and jaw meet. Now, if you will be covering your mouth entirely with gems and face paint, you can definitely skip this step. I just did this for fun. Yeah, here I just took a purple shadow and swept it under my bottom lip. Here, I'm just going back and forth, deepening the colors on my crease, cheeks, and nose bridge with a darker hot pink shade. To balance the color on my eyes, I applied the same hot pink shadow on my lower lash line too. Blend away. Next, I applied a purple shimmer with iridescent glitters on my lid. Then with a small pencil brush, I applied a frosty pink shimmer onto the bridge of my nose, inner corners, cheek, and brow bone as highlight. Now, if you're a little extra like me, you can apply some shadow onto the tail of the brow. Here, I used a teal shade but ended up changing the color to a dark hot pink. You can also curl your lashes at this point. Now for the drama on my neck. I used a damp sponge to apply a bit of pink and purple water-activated face paint onto my neck, chest, and shoulders. Next, I just went back into highlighting my forehead and cheekbones to intensify the highlight. I used a medium rounded brush to deepen the shadows on my collarbones. You can use black, but here I used a dark purple, blue, and magenta. I finished it off with some highlighter and a bit of paint on my ears. Alright, now that we've finished most of our base, let's move on to creating the skull. This was the hardest part for me to do, so take your time with it. With white water activated face paint, I drew thin lines for my temples to create my skeleton teeth and jaw first, and then outline the teeth for the gems later. While I did refer to some skull references online, try to feel your face to see where the bone or where the hollows of your cheeks are. That way, it matches or complements the contours of your face, as everyone's bone structure is different. Next, I drew the nose hole. After that, I drew two rounded triangles. And then shaded the bottom of my face with some dark hot pink and purple shadows. I topped it off with some finishing spray and waited for all the paint to dry. Now, while I waited for that to dry, I applied some pink face paint onto my hand and then sketched some bones after that dried. I then shaded them in with a dark pink and purple eyeshadow. Okay, so we're almost there, folks. Bear with me. Here, I cleaned up the lines with more face paint and then shaded in the rest of my teeth. Now, for the second hardest part of this whole look, applying the gems. For your safety, I suggest using lash glue if you're going to apply gems near your eyes. On other areas of the face or neck, you can use spirit gum. If you want to apply falsies at this point, you definitely can, but I wanted to make the mouth area a focal point and decided to skip the falsies. I finished my makeup with mascara and continued with the gems. For the inner corners and under the eyes, I suggest using a tiny bit of petroleum jelly as adhesive, as using lash glue or spirit gum could be a bit too abrasive. Moving on from the makeup part of this look, we're going to be applying some beautiful holographic wallpaper and cut some lines out to add more iridescence and interest to the face. Now, as you can see, I experimented a little bit, but I was really happy with how it turned out. I put some on my jawline, above my teeth, my inner corners, temples, neck, and collarbone. And there you go! I got my white contacts and hoops on, and you got yourself a simple makeup look to go grocery shopping. Nah, I kid. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I loved making it with my best friends. My absolute special thanks goes to Olique Barua, who encouraged and lent his filming equipment and filmed and edited the intro shots for your homegirl. I also want to give my special thanks to Russell for staying up long hours and helping me just to keep up with this. And this whole setup was no joke. I wouldn't have done it without any of their support and motivation. So thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you when I see you. Music credits go to Ihaxi for lending his song Hold On. Check out his SoundCloud and YouTube for more cool beats like this. Thank you again.